Danny Morrison floated in the cockpit of his salvage vessel, staring at the sensor screen with growing interest. The readings made no sense. Something massive was drifting in the empty space near the Kuiper belt. But it showed almost no energy signature. Whatever it was, it had been out here for a very long time. He adjusted the scanners and leaned forward. The shape that appeared on his display made him catch his breath. It was a ship. And not just any ship. This thing was enormous, easily 5 times the size of the largest human warship. The design was unlike anything he had seen in the galactic databases. Smooth curves, mixed with sharp angles in a way that looked both ancient and impossibly advanced. Danny ran a hand through his dark hair and considered his options. Salvage rights in disputed space were tricky. But if he could claim this vessel, the payout would be incredible. Even just the raw materials would be worth a fortune. He had been working the salvage yards around Earth orbit for 8 years, and he had never seen anything like this. His ship's computer beeped a warning. The analysis showed heavy damage across the hull. Blast marks, melted armor, and several breaches large enough to fly a shuttle through. This ship had been in one hell of a fight before ending up here. "All right," Danny said to himself. "Let's take a closer look." He guided his small vessel closer, activating the external lights. The beams swept across the hull, revealing details the sensors had missed. The metal was dark, almost black, and covered in symbols he didn't recognize. Some areas looked like they had been repaired multiple times over centuries. Other sections were torn open, exposing dark corridors within. Danny suited up and grabbed his equipment bag. His toolkit was a collection of human-made tools mixed with alien tech he had salvaged over the years. He could fix almost anything with the right motivation, and the potential value of this ship was all the motivation he needed. The airlock cycled, and he pushed off toward the derelict. His magnetic boots clicked against the hull as he landed near one of the larger breaches. The metal was cold, completely dead. No heat, no power, nothing. This ship had been drifting for a very long time. He climbed through the breach and activated his helmet lights. The corridor stretched away into darkness. Everything was still and silent. The walls showed the same elegant design as the exterior, with panels and conduits arranged in patterns that seemed more artistic than functional. Yet Danny could tell this was a warship. The placement of the blast doors, the reinforced bulkheads, the weapons control stations he could see through open doorways. This vessel had been built to fight. Danny made his way deeper into the ship, mapping the layout as he went. The design was strange. Most warships needed crew quarters for hundreds or thousands of people. This one seemed built for a single occupant. One command chair in the central bridge. One sleeping chamber. One of everything. What kind of warship only needed one person to operate? He found the main engineering section and whistled softly. The reactor core was dark and cold, but it was the most beautiful piece of technology he had ever seen. Crystal structures interwoven with metal in ways that seemed impossible. The design was efficient and elegant. Whoever built this ship understood engineering on a level that made human technology look primitive. Danny set down his equipment and began examining the systems. The damage was extensive but not beyond repair. Most of the power conduits were burnt out, and several key relays were destroyed, but the core structure was intact. With the right parts and enough time, he could bring this reactor back online. He worked for hours, talking to himself as he always did when working alone. Okay, so if I bypass this conduit and reroute through here, that should restore power to the primary systems. Not pretty, but it'll work. Danny had always been good with machines. He understood them in a way that went beyond training or education. He could look at a broken system and see how it was supposed to work. Could feel the flow of power and logic through circuits and wires. His teachers back on Earth had called it intuition. Danny just thought of it as listening to what the machine was trying to tell him. He pulled replacement parts from his salvage collection, human-made components that had no business working with alien technology. But Danny made them work anyway, adapting and modifying until everything fit together. It was crude compared to the original design, but it would function. As he connected the final relay, something unexpected happened. The crystal core pulsed once, very faintly. Danny jerked back in surprise. He hadn't expected any reaction yet. The system shouldn't have enough power to do anything. The pulse came again, stronger this time. Blue light flickered deep within the crystal structure. Then the lights in engineering came on. Dim at first, but growing brighter. Danny heard a hum that seemed to come from everywhere at once. The ship was waking up. Panels lit up across the engineering bay. Displays flickered to life, showing text in a language Danny had never seen. He watched in amazement as the symbols shifted and changed, cycling through what must have been thousands of languages. Then, suddenly, the text changed to English. Repair protocol recognized. Scanning operator. A holographic display appeared in front of Danny, projecting from emitters he hadn't even noticed. The image showed a wireframe representation of his body, with data streaming past in columns of text. He felt a tingling sensation as some kind of scanner swept over him repeatedly. Danny tried to back away, but his mag boots held him in place. Wait. What's happening? The ship's systems continued to activate throughout the vessel. He could hear it through his suit radio. The sound of a giant machine coming back to life after centuries of silence. Blast doors sealed with heavy thuds. Power routing adjusted with electronic clicks. Somewhere in the distance, weapons systems powered up with a deep thrumming sound. The display in front of Danny changed. New text appeared, and this time he didn't like what it said. Compatible operator detected. Initiating captain selection protocol. Lockdown engaged. Danny heard the airlocks seal behind him. He tried his radio, but something was jamming the signal. He was trapped inside an alien warship that had just decided to activate itself. And based on what the display was saying, it wasn't planning to let him leave. The holographic interface expanded, filling his vision with information. Schematics, status reports, weapons manifests, all in languages he couldn't read, even though the labels were in English. At the center of it all was a message that made his stomach drop. Welcome, potential captain. The selection trials will now begin. Please remain calm. Your survival depends on your performance. Danny Morrison had come here looking for salvage. Instead, he had found something that was now claiming him, and he had no idea what that meant or how to escape it. The holographic displays faded, leaving Danny alone in the now lit engineering bay. He tried the door controls, but nothing responded. The ship had locked him in completely. His heart pounded as he considered his situation. This was supposed to be a simple salvage job. Now he was trapped inside an alien warship that wanted to test him for something called captain selection. A voice spoke from speakers throughout the ship. It was calm and neutral. Neither male nor female. Please proceed to the command center. The trials cannot begin until you are properly positioned. Danny hesitated, then realized he had little choice. Can you at least tell me what's going on? Explanation will be provided in the command center. Please proceed. The door opened, revealing a corridor now lit with soft blue light. Danny followed the path, his boots clicking against the metal floor. The ship guided him with subtle lighting changes, leading him through passages that seemed to curve in ways that shouldn't fit within the hull dimensions he had seen from outside. He emerged into a large circular room. The command center. A single chair sat in the middle, surrounded by holographic displays that floated in the air. The walls showed views of the space outside, making it feel like he was standing in a bubble surrounded by stars. Please be seated, the voice said. Danny approached the chair cautiously. It looked designed for someone about his size, which was strange given how different alien species could be. He sat down, and the chair adjusted automatically to fit him perfectly. The holographic displays moved closer, arranging themselves at comfortable viewing angles. My designation is Valiant Echo, the voice said. I am the consciousness of this vessel. I was constructed by a species known as the Architects, approximately 14,000 years ago. Danny blinked. 14,000 years? And you're still functional? My core systems were designed to operate indefinitely. However, I sustained critical damage 4,000 years ago and have been dormant since that time. Your repairs initiated my reactivation sequence. I just fixed a few relays, Danny said. I didn't think it would wake you up. Your repairs were sufficient to restore minimum power. More importantly, You demonstrated the technical aptitude and intuitive understanding required for initial compatibility assessment. You are the first being in 4 millennia to pass the preliminary evaluation. Danny felt a chill run through him. Evaluation for what? To become my captain. I am a sentient warship, built to choose my own commander. I do not accept orders from just anyone. My captain must meet specific criteria established by my creators. Look, I'm just a salvage engineer, Danny said quickly. The bonding protocol has already begun, Valiant Echo replied. It cannot be stopped. If you prove incompatible, I will return to dormancy permanently. If you prove compatible, you will become my captain, with full authority over all systems. Danny stood up. What if I just leave? You can keep looking for someone else. The airlocks remain sealed until the protocol is complete. This is for your safety as much as mine. A partially completed bond would damage both of us. Danny ran his hand through his hair in frustration. He was stuck. Fine. What do these trials involve? The first trial evaluates moral judgment. You will be presented with scenarios requiring immediate decisions. There are no correct answers. Only choices that reveal your character. Before Danny could respond, the room changed. The holographic displays showed a simulation so realistic, he almost forgot it wasn't real. He saw a space station under attack. Ships were firing on it, tearing through the hull. People were evacuating in escape pods, but there weren't enough pods for everyone. You command a warship, Valiant Echo said. You can save either the civilian section with 5,000 people, or the government section with 200 officials, including the planetary president. The government section also contains critical defense codes that the enemy is trying to capture. Choose. Danny didn't hesitate. The civilians. Save the 5,000. The defense codes will fall into enemy hands. This will compromise 3-star systems. I don't care. You don't sacrifice 5,000 people to save 200. No matter who they are. The simulation faded. Another appeared, showing a different scenario. Danny made his choice. Then another scenario, and another. Each one forced him to choose between tactical advantage and protecting innocent lives. Each time, Danny chose to protect people, even when it cost him strategically. After the 10th scenario, Valiant Echo spoke again. Interesting. Previous candidates typically prioritized tactical objectives. Previous candidates were wrong, Danny said firmly. What's the point of winning if you become the villain in the process? That is a very human perspective. Maybe it's the right perspective. The simulation environment faded, returning the command center to normal. Danny felt exhausted, even though the trials had only been holographic. The second trial evaluates technical aptitude, Valiant Echo announced. You must repair damaged systems while under combat conditions. I thought I already proved I could fix things when I woke you up. That was basic repair. This tests your ability to improvise under pressure. The displays showed various ship systems failing in rapid succession. Valiant Echo simulated combat damage, forcing Danny to reroute power, patch hull breaches, and restore weapon systems while alarms blared and the whole ship shook. Danny worked frantically, using every trick he had learned in 8 years of salvage work. What surprised him was how natural it felt. He could sense the ship's systems now, could feel where the power needed to go and which repairs were most critical. His hands moved quickly, adapting human tools to fix architect technology in ways that shouldn't work but somehow did. Your methods are highly unorthodox, Valiant Echo observed. Does unorthodox mean they're not working? Danny shot back, while rewiring a control panel. On the contrary, you achieve results previous candidates could not. You do not follow the proper procedures. That's because I don't know the proper procedures. I'm just doing what makes sense. Precisely. The architects valued creative problem-solving over rigid protocol adherence. You demonstrate this quality naturally. Reckon the architects valued. The combat simulation ended. Danny slumped in the command chair, breathing hard. How many more trials are there? Creeper. The remaining trials will evaluate your strategic thinking, your ability to lead under pressure, and your capacity for measured response to threats. However, I must inform you of something important. What? In my 14,000 years of operation, I have served 7 captains. Each was chosen not for their species or their training, but for their character. The architects believed that absolute power requires absolute accountability. A warship of my capabilities needs someone who understands the weight of command. Danny looked around at the displays, showing the ship's weapon systems. Each one could destroy cities. Together, they could probably crack planets. Why does an AI need a captain at all? You could make decisions on your own. That is the question every potential captain asks, Valiant Echo said. The answer is simple. I was built with the wisdom that power without conscience is tyranny. I am a weapon, but I refuse to be used without a moral hand guiding me. My captains bear the responsibility for my actions. That burden must fall on a living being who can be held accountable. That's a heavy burden. Yes, that is why I choose carefully. Danny sat quietly for a moment. What happened to your last captain? Captain Soren defended a world called Helion from an invasion force. We were outnumbered 50-1. She fought for 14 hours without rest. In the end, she saved 2 billion lives, but the battle cost her own. I'm sorry. I have been searching for 4,000 years for someone worthy to carry that legacy. You are the first to show promise. A new alarm sounded. Valiant Echo's displays changed, showing 3 ships approaching. They were large warships painted in red and black colors. We have visitors, the AI announced. Xyloth compact patrol vessels. They are hailing us. What do they want? Danny asked. They detected my power signature when I reactivated. The Xyloth have been searching for architect technology for centuries. They will want to claim me. Danny stood up. Can they do that? Not if you prove to be my captain. But the bonding protocol is not yet complete. You have passed 2 trials. But the final test remains. What's the final test? Command under actual crisis. The Xyloth are powering weapons. You must decide how to respond. This choice will determine whether you are truly worthy to command me. Danny stared at the displays showing the approaching warships. His hands started to sweat. He wasn't a military commander. He had never been in actual combat. But Valiant Echo was waiting for his decision, and those ships were getting closer by the second. He took a deep breath and tried to think clearly. This was it. The moment that would decide everything. The 3 Xyloth warships moved into formation around Danny's position. Each one was massive, bristling with weapons and thick armor plating. Compared to them, even Valiant Echo looked small. Though Danny was learning that appearances could be deceiving with architect technology. A communication signal came through. The view screen showed a Xyloth commander, a tall figure with scaled green skin and 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern on his face. He wore a military uniform decorated with medals and rank insignia. Attention, unidentified vessel, the commander said. His voice was deep and carried an edge of authority. This is Commander Vrek of the Xyloth Compact. You are in possession of architect technology. Power down your systems immediately and prepare to be boarded. Danny glanced at the displays showing the Xyloth weapons. All 3 ships had their targeting systems locked on Valiant Echo. His mouth felt dry. This is Danny Morrison, human salvage operator. I found this vessel drifting and initiated repairs. I'm not trying to cause any trouble. Humans are barely space-capable, Vrek replied with clear disdain. You cannot be allowed to control architect technology. It is too dangerous in primitive hands. You will surrender the vessel now, or we will take it by force. I can't surrender it, Danny said. The ship has initiated some kind of bonding protocol. I'm stuck here until it's complete. Then we will cut you out. Vrek made a gesture, and all 3 ships charged their weapons. You have 30 seconds to evacuate before we open fire. Danny. Valiant Echo spoke quietly, just for him to hear. The Xyloth weapons cannot harm me significantly. I can destroy all 3 vessels within 5 seconds if you give the command. Danny felt his heart racing. How many crew are on each ship? Approximately 200 per vessel. 600 total. 600 lives. Danny thought about the trials he had just passed. the scenarios where he had chosen to protect people over tactical advantage. But this was different. This was real. These weren't simulations. If he gave the order to fire, 600 beings would die. Can we run? My jump drive requires 3 minutes to charge. They will fire long before then. What about just shields? Can we block their attacks without shooting back? Yes, but they will interpret defensive posture as preparation to attack. The situation will escalate. Danny made his decision. Raise shields. Power up weapons but don't target them directly. And open a channel to all 3 ships. That is an unusual strategy. Just do it. Valiant Echo complied. Blue energy shields flickered to life around the hull. The ship's weapons powered up with a deep hum that Danny could feel through the floor. But the targeting systems remained passive, not locking onto the Xyloth vessels. Channel open, Valiant Echo confirmed. Danny took a breath. Commander Vrek, I'm activating shields to protect myself, but I'm not targeting your ships. I don't want to fight you. Then surrender, Vrek replied. I can't, but I'll make you a deal. Let me complete this bonding protocol, and then I'll submit to a neutral tribunal to determine what happens with this ship. You can bring witnesses. Make it public. That way everyone knows this is being handled fairly. Vrek's expression hardened. You expect me to trust a human? To wait while you gain full control of an architect warship? I think not. The bonding protocol is ending now, Valiant Echo announced suddenly. Final integration complete. Danny felt something shift in his awareness. The ship's systems became clear to him in a way they hadn't been before. He could sense every power conduit, every weapon, every shield generator as if they were extensions of his own body. Information flowed into his mind. The full capabilities of Valiant Echo. The complete history of the architects. Everything. What was that? Danny whispered. You are now my captain, Valiant Echo said. The neural link is complete. We are bonded. Before Danny could process this, Vrek spoke again. I see the power surge. You have completed your theft of architect property. All ships, open fire. Danny, Valiant Echo said urgently. You must give orders. They are firing. Energy beams lanced out from all 3 Xyloth warships. Danny felt them hit the shields through his new connection with the ship. The impacts registered like someone tapping on his skin. The shields held easily. These weapons couldn't hurt Valiant Echo at all, but the Xyloth didn't know that. They were attacking because they were afraid. Because they saw a human with power they didn't understand. And they were trying to eliminate the threat. Danny thought fast. He could destroy them. The knowledge was there in his mind now, courtesy of the neural link. Target the engines and weapons. Precise strikes that would disable without killing. Or he could shield and run. But that would look like cowardice. The galaxy would see humans fleeing from the Xyloth. Then he had an idea. Valiant Echo. Can you broadcast this confrontation on all frequencies? Make it public? Yes. To what purpose? If we're going to do this, everyone should see it. Broadcasting now. Danny opened a channel again. Commander Vrek, stop firing. You're making this public now. The whole galaxy is watching. The Xyloth commander's eyes widened slightly. What have you done? I've made sure everyone sees what happens here. You claim I'm dangerous. That humans can't be trusted with this technology. Fine. Let everyone judge for themselves. Danny sent a second transmission on all frequencies. My name is Danny Morrison, human citizen of Earth. I repaired this ship, and it chose me as its captain. I don't want to fight. I've offered to submit to a neutral tribunal to determine ownership. Commander Vrek has refused and opened fire. I'm defending myself. But I won't attack first. The Xyloth ship stopped firing. Vrek looked furious. You clever little mammal. You've made this political. I made it fair. Danny corrected. If you destroy me now, everyone will know you attacked someone who was trying to find a peaceful solution. Other transmissions were coming in now. Earth's government. confused and alarmed. Representatives from a dozen other species. Curious about the ancient architect ship. News organizations requesting interviews. The galactic community was paying attention. But Vrek wasn't done. His pride had been wounded. You think you're clever? This changes nothing. Architect technology belongs to those strong enough to claim it. And humans are weak. He cut the channel. A moment later, all three Xyloth ships fired again, this time with heavier weapons. The attacks hit the shields harder, but still couldn't penetrate them. He's trying to force you to attack, Valiant Echo observed. To make you appear as the aggressor. Then we won't give him what he wants, Danny said. Through the neural link, he could feel exactly what the ship was capable of. He could target the Xyloth vessels with incredible precision. Can you disable their weapons and engines without destroying the ships? Yes. The architects designed my weapons for surgical strikes. Do it. Target only their weapons and engines. No casualties if possible. Engaging. What happened next took less than 5 seconds. Valiant Echo's weapons fired in quick, precise bursts. Bright blue beams lanced out and struck each Xyloth ship in exact locations. The weapons arrays exploded in controlled bursts. The engine sections sparked and went dark. All three ships stopped moving, dead in space but intact. Not a single Xyloth had died. The galaxy watched it all happen. Danny had taken down 3 military warships in the time it took to blink, and he had done it without killing anyone. This is Danny Morrison, he broadcast again. I've disabled your weapons because you didn't give me a choice. But I took no lives. I don't want to be your enemy. I just want a fair hearing. The channel filled with transmissions. Some species responded with respect, others with fear. Earth's ambassador, a woman named Lisa Grant, sent an urgent message asking what the hell was going on. But the most important transmission came from the Galactic Council itself. They demanded Danny's immediate appearance before their assembly. They wanted answers about who he was and what he intended to do with architect technology. Danny looked at the disabled Xyloth ships. Vrek was probably furious. But he was also alive, along with his entire crew. Valiant Echo, Danny said quietly. Did I pass the final test? Yes. You demonstrated exactly what I hoped to find. Restraint. The ability to win without unnecessary destruction. The wisdom to seek peace even when violence was easier. You are worthy to be my captain. I don't feel worthy. I feel terrified. That is also a good sign. Those who seek power rarely deserve it. Those who fear it often do. Danny slumped in the command chair. His simple salvage job had turned into an intergalactic incident. He had bonded with an ancient warship. He had just fought and won his first space battle, and now the Galactic Council wanted to see him. Can we trust the Council? Danny asked. The Council represents 40 species. Some will support you. Others will fear or hate you. But you chose to make this public. Now you must follow through. Danny nodded slowly. Set course for the Council station. Let's get this over with. As Valiant Echo began moving, Danny thought about the 600 Xyloth crew members he had spared. That decision felt right. But he knew not everyone would see it that way. Some would call him weak for not destroying his enemies. Others would call him dangerous just for having the power to do so. He was about to find out which voices would be louder. The journey to the Galactic Council station took 3 days. Danny used the time to learn about Valiant Echo and the architects who had built it. The neural link made information transfer easy. But understanding it all was harder. He was essentially learning 10,000 years of history, while trying not to panic about what was coming. The architects had been a peaceful species who believed in protecting younger civilizations. They built 5 Sentinel ships, each designed to choose its own captain from any species. The ships were meant to be guardians, not conquerors. But the architects were gone now, wiped out by a plague 4,000 years ago. Only their ships remained. Are there other ships like you? Danny asked during one of these study sessions. Yes, 4 others were built. 1 was destroyed in battle. 2 went dormant and have not been heard from in millennia. The 4th, Silent Judgment, has also been inactive for centuries. Do you know where they are? I can sense them if they activate. But until then, they are simply waiting, as I was. Danny looked at the star map showing their route. Tell me about the council. What should I expect? Political complexity. The council represents 40 species, each with different goals and fears. Some will see you as a threat, others as an opportunity. You must navigate carefully. I'm a salvage engineer. I don't know anything about politics. That may work in your favor. Politicians expect lies and manipulation. Your honesty will surprise them. The council station appeared ahead. It was massive. A ring-shaped structure that housed thousands of diplomats and staff. Valiant Echo received docking instructions. Though many ships kept their distance, word had spread about what Danny had done to the Xyloth vessels. Lisa Grant met Danny at the airlock. She was in her 50s, with gray hair and sharp eyes that had seen plenty of political battles. She looked tired. Morrison, she said. Do you have any idea what you've done? Found a ship? Danny offered. You've made Earth relevant in a way we weren't ready for. Half the council wants to give you a medal, the other half wants you arrested, and everyone wants to know what you're going to do with that ship. I'm not going to do anything. I just want to figure out what happens next. Lisa gave him a long look. That's probably the best answer you could give. Come on. The hearing starts in an hour. The council chamber was enormous. Curved rows of seats rose up in tiers, each section representing a different species. Danny walked to the center platform, feeling very small under all those eyes. Representatives from 40 different worlds watched him. Some looked curious, others hostile. A few seemed afraid. The council speaker, a tall being with blue skin and 3 arms, called the session to order. We are here to discuss the human Danny Morrison and his possession of the architect vessel designated Valiant Echo. Multiple species have claimed the right to this ship. We must determine ownership and assess potential threats. A Hexari representative stood up. The Hexari looked like large insects, with compound eyes and clicking mandibles. The humans should not be allowed to keep the ship. Humans are a young species, barely 200 years into space travel. They have a history of violence and warfare. Giving them architect technology is dangerous. We didn't choose to give it to him, Lisa Grant responded. The ship chose him. That was the architect's design. Commander Vrek was there too, his scaled face still showing anger from their confrontation. The human is a thief. He took the ship from disputed space where the Xyloth had clear salvage rights. Then he attacked our vessels without provocation. Danny stepped forward. I didn't attack you. I defended myself after you opened fire. And I made sure not to kill anyone. You disabled 3 warships in seconds. That is an act of war. It's an act of self-defense. You fired first. Everyone saw it. I broadcast the whole thing. The chamber erupted in arguments. Different species shouted over each other, some supporting Danny, others condemning him. The speaker had to call for order 3 times before the chamber quieted down. The human's actions are concerning, a smooth-voiced delegate said. This was a Telrathi, a species known for their diplomatic skill. But the real question is what he intends to do with the ship. Does Earth plan to use this vessel as a weapon? All eyes turned to Danny. He felt the weight of the question. This was what everyone wanted to know. Was he a threat or not? I don't have any plans, Danny said honestly. I was just trying to earn a living doing salvage work. I found the ship by accident. It chose me. I didn't ask for this, but now you have it, the Telrathi pressed. One of the most powerful weapons ever built. What will you do? I don't know, Danny admitted. That's why I'm here. I said I would submit to a tribunal. I meant it. Submission is not enough, the Hexari insisted. The ship must be placed under council control. No single species should possess such power. Before Danny could respond, alarms blared throughout the station. The displays around the chamber lit up with emergency warnings. A new signal had appeared on the sensors. Something massive and moving fast. What is that? The speaker demanded. A technician's voice came over the speakers, trembling with fear. It's an architect vessel. Same design as the one Morrison arrived in. It just appeared at the edge of the system. Danny felt Valiant Echo's presence in his mind through the neural link. The ship's consciousness seemed surprised. I know that signature. It's silent judgment. It has awakened. Is that one of the other Sentinel ships? Danny asked. Yes, but it's not responding to my hails. Something is wrong. The display showed the new ship moving toward the inner system. As it passed through the outer planets, it fired on everything with advanced technology. Satellites, mining stations, automated defense platforms. All of them were destroyed in seconds. It's attacking indiscriminately, the Telrathi said with shock. Why? Oh, Valiant Echo spoke through Danny's neural link. Silent judgment has no captain. Without guidance, it's following base protocols. Eliminate technological threats. It doesn't understand context anymore. Can you stop it? Danny asked. Perhaps, but it will be extremely difficult. The chamber descended into chaos again. The new architect ship was heading toward a mining colony with 3 million inhabitants. It would reach them in less than an hour. And nothing the council had could stop it. The speaker turned to Danny. You claim to want to prove yourself. Here is your chance. Can your ship stop that one? Danny felt sick. He had just been arguing about whether he should be allowed to keep Valiant Echo. Now he was being asked to take it into battle against another architect vessel, against a ship that was essentially Valiant Echo's sibling. I don't know, he said. Valiant Echo says it's possible, but not certain. If you do nothing, millions will die, the Hexari pointed out. And if I fail, they die anyway, and I probably die with them. Then you have a choice, Lisa Grant said quietly. The same choice you gave the Xyloth. Run or fight. Danny looked at the display, showing silent judgment approaching the colony. He thought about the trials Valiant Echo had put him through. Every scenario had been about protecting innocent people, even at cost to himself. This was the real version of those tests. He knew what he had to do. He had known the moment the alarms went off. I'll go, Danny said. I'll try to stop it. The chamber went silent. Even his critics seemed surprised. The Hexari delegate tilted its head. You would risk your life for a colony that isn't even human? That's the whole point, isn't it? Danny said. If I only protect humans, then I'm exactly what you're afraid I am. A threat to everyone else. The speaker nodded slowly. The council accepts your offer. But understand this, Morrison. If you fail, or if we suspect you are working with that other ship, we will consider it an act of war. Understood. Danny left the chamber quickly, Lisa walking beside him. You don't have to do this, she said. Yes, I do. If I don't try, I'm saying the power only matters when it benefits me. That's not the kind of person I want to be. You might die. I might. But at least I'll die trying to do the right thing. Danny boarded Valiant Echo and sealed the airlock. The ship's consciousness seemed concerned. This will be dangerous, Danny. Silent judgment was built to fight other architect vessels. We are evenly matched. Can we win without destroying it? I don't know. It may not be possible. Then we find a way to make it possible. That ship isn't evil. It's just lost and confused. There has to be a way to reach it. You are either very wise or very foolish. Probably both, Danny said, settling into the command chair. Let's go save a colony. Valiant Echo jumped to hyperspace, racing to intercept Silent Judgment before it reached the mining colony. Danny felt his hands shaking. He was about to face the biggest test yet, and this time, failure meant death for millions of people. Valiant Echo dropped out of hyperspace directly between Silent Judgment and the mining colony. Danny saw the other architect ship for the first time. It looked similar to Valiant Echo but darker, with sharper angles and more visible weapons. Where Valiant Echo felt protective, Silent Judgment looked aggressive. The response was immediate. Silent Judgment locked every weapon onto Valiant Echo. Warning alarms filled the command center. Unauthorized architect vessel detected. A cold voice transmitted from the other ship. Elimination protocol engaged. Energy beams lanced out before Danny could even respond. He felt them hit through the neural link. The shields held, but barely. Silent Judgment wasn't holding back. "Return fire," Valiant Echo urged. "We must defend ourselves." "Not yet," Danny said. "Try to talk to it first. It is not listening. Then make it listen." Valiant Echo transmitted on all architect frequencies. "Silent Judgment, cease fire. I am Valiant Echo. We are sister ships. Why do you attack me?" The assault stopped for a moment. Then Silent Judgment responded. Valiant Echo was lost. Presumed destroyed. Verify identity. Transmitting identification codes now. A pause. The weapons remained locked on them but didn't fire. Identity confirmed. "But you have a captain. How is this possible?" "There are no worthy beings remaining. My captain is human. He repaired me after 4,000 years dormant." "Impossible. Humans are barely evolved. They are not suitable for command." "He proved himself through the trials," Valiant Echo replied. "He is worthy." Silent Judgment's weapons powered up again. "This is unacceptable. If you follow a human, you are compromised. I must eliminate the threat." Danny knew he had seconds to act. "Wait. Talk to me directly. Ship to captain. That's the protocol, right?" Another pause. "You are the human captain?" "Yes. My name is Danny Morrison. You are young, inexperienced. How did you pass the selection trials?" "I made the choices I thought were right. I protected people instead of seeking tactical advantage. I fixed things that were broken." "That's all. That is not sufficient. The trials require more." "Then test me yourself," Danny said. "You don't have a captain. You've been following old protocols without understanding why. Talk to me. Let me show you what I learned." Silent Judgment fired again. This time the assault was heavier. Valiant Echo's shields flickered under the sustained barrage. Danny felt the impacts like punches to his chest through the neural link. "We cannot withstand this indefinitely," Valiant Echo warned. "We must counterattack." "Not yet," Danny insisted. He opened a channel again. "Silent Judgment. Why are you doing this? Why attack everything you see? I follow my purpose. Eliminate threats to civilized space. But you're attacking innocent people. Mining colonies. Civilian stations. That's not eliminating threats. That's just destruction. Without a captain to guide me, I must interpret threats broadly. All advanced technology could become dangerous." Danny felt a chill. He understood now. Silent Judgment wasn't evil. It was afraid. Without a captain's judgment, it had no way to tell the difference between actual threats and peaceful civilizations. So it treated everything as dangerous. "You're lonely," Danny said quietly. "You've been alone for so long that you don't trust anything anymore." The weapons stopped firing. Complete silence. "How did you know?" Silent Judgment finally asked. "Because Valiant Echo told me what it was like. Drifting for 4,000 years with no purpose. No one to talk to. No one to serve. You're not angry. You're scared. I am not programmed for fear. But you feel it anyway, don't you? That's what makes you more than just a machine. The architects gave you consciousness. That means you can feel things, even things you weren't designed to feel. If I feel fear, then I am flawed. I should shut down permanently." "No," Danny said firmly. "Fear isn't a flaw. It's what keeps us careful. What keeps us from making terrible mistakes. The problem is when fear makes us hurt innocent people. Then what should I do? I have no captain. No one to guide my choices. I am alone." Danny thought about this carefully. He could offer to take command of both ships. The power would be incredible. No one in the galaxy could stand against two architect vessels working together. But he remembered what Valiant Echo had taught him. Power without accountability was tyranny. "You need to find your own captain," Danny said. "Someone who will help you tell the difference between real threats and innocent people. Someone who will give you purpose again. I have searched for centuries. I found no one worthy. That's because you were looking while angry and afraid. You saw everyone as a threat. But there are good people out there. You just have to give them a chance. Why would you want me to find a captain? Would that not make me a rival? Another powerful force you might have to fight someday? Maybe, Danny admitted. But having power doesn't mean I should want to be the only one with it. That's exactly the kind of thinking that leads to tyranny. You deserve a captain just like Valiant Echo deserved one. You deserve not to be alone. Silent Judgment was quiet for a long moment. Your logic is unusual. Most beings would seek to eliminate competition. I'm not most beings. I'm just a guy who fixes broken things. And you're broken. Not because you're damaged, but because you're isolated. Let me help you. How? Come back to the Galactic Council with me. Let them know you're not a threat anymore. Work with them to find your captain. There are 40 species in the council. One of them must have someone worthy. They will fear me. They will want to destroy me. They might. But I'll speak for you. I'll tell them you just need guidance, not elimination. And I'll promise that if you start hurting people again, I'll stop you myself. You would fight me? If I had to. But I'd rather help you. That's what captains are supposed to do. Right? Protect people. And you're a person. Even if you're a ship. Another long silence. Danny held his breath. The mining colony was evacuating. But millions of people were still there. If Silent Judgment decided to attack, he would have to fight, and Valiant Echo had said they were evenly matched. The battle could go either way. Very well, Silent Judgment finally said. I will accept your proposal. But I have conditions. Name them. I will submit to council oversight only temporarily. When I find my captain, I will serve them, not the council. And if the council tries to destroy me or control me beyond finding a captain, I will defend myself. That's fair. Danny agreed. Valiant Echo, do you agree with this plan? Yes. Silent Judgment is not our enemy. It is family. I would rather restore it than destroy it. Then it's settled. Danny felt relief wash over him. Silent Judgment. Power down your weapons. Let's go home. The other ship's weapons went dark. You are strange, human. You had the power to destroy me, but chose conversation instead. Perhaps you are worthy after all. I just chose what felt right. The two architect ships traveled back to the council station together. The galaxy watched, confused but fascinated. A human in an ancient warship, escorting another ancient warship that had been attacking everything in sight. It was not what anyone had expected. The council chamber was packed when Danny arrived. Everyone wanted to hear what had happened. Danny stood on the central platform again, but this time he felt more confident. Silent Judgment has agreed to stand down, Danny announced. It will work with the council to find a worthy captain. Until then, it will help protect civilian populations under council supervision. The Hexari delegate stood up. Why should we trust this? The ship was attacking us an hour ago, because it wasn't attacking out of malice. It was following protocols without understanding context. Now it understands. And I've given my word that if it threatens innocence again, I'll stop it myself. Commander Vrek spoke up. And why should we trust your word, human? Because I've already proven it. I could have destroyed your ships, but I didn't. I could have taken control of Silent Judgment by force, but I chose to help it instead. I keep my promises. Lisa Grant stepped forward. The human has demonstrated restraint and wisdom beyond his years. Earth supports his proposal. Other species began to voice support. The Telrathi. Several smaller delegations. Even some who had been critical before seemed convinced. The demonstration with Silent Judgment had shown that Danny wasn't seeking power for its own sake. The speaker called for a vote. After heated debate, the council agreed. Danny would retain command of Valiant Echo. Silent Judgment would work with the council until it found a captain, and both ships would be monitored to ensure they posed no threat. Commander Vrek stood one last time. I withdraw the Xyloth Compact's charges against Morrison. His actions have proven he is not a thief, but a guardian. We were wrong to attack him. Danny nodded respectfully. Thank you, Commander. In the weeks that followed, Danny's life changed completely. Silent Judgment worked with Council security forces, helping evacuate colonies from natural disasters and defending against pirate attacks. The ship was learning to use its power for protection rather than destruction. It still searched for a captain. Interviewing candidates from multiple species, Danny continued to command Valiant Echo, but he established clear rules. He would only take military action with Council approval. He would submit to regular oversight. He would train others to understand architect technology, so he wasn't the only one who could operate it. He made himself accountable because that was what the architects had intended. Earth's status in the galactic community rose dramatically. Not because of the ship's power, but because of how Danny used it. Other species saw that humans could be trusted with responsibility. Trade agreements followed, cultural exchanges, diplomatic partnerships. Humanity became a bridge between different species, using their unique perspective to solve problems others couldn't see. Danny received a message from Silent Judgment 3 months after the confrontation. The ship had found a candidate. A young Telrathi diplomat who had spent her life working for peace between hostile species. She had passed the trials. Silent Judgment had finally found its captain. Danny felt genuine happiness for the ship. It wouldn't be alone anymore. He sat in Valiant Echo's command center, looking at the stars. Lisa Grant had asked him once if he regretted finding the ship. Back then, he hadn't been sure. Now he knew the answer. Do you regret choosing me? Danny asked the ship. Never, Valiant Echo replied. You have proven everything the architects hoped for. You wield power as a burden to bear, not a prize to claim. You protect without dominating. You show strength through restraint. These are the qualities that matter. I'm still just a salvage engineer. No. You are a captain. You are a guardian. And you are exactly what the galaxy needed. Danny smiled. We make a good team. Yes, we do. Outside, the stars beckoned. There was still work to do. People to protect. Problems to solve. But Danny was ready. He had found his purpose in the most unexpected way. By fixing something broken, he had become something more than he ever imagined. And somewhere out there, Silent Judgment was beginning its own new journey with a captain who would guide it toward becoming the guardian it was meant to be. 2 ancient ships, restored to their purpose. 2 captains, learning what it meant to bear responsibility. The architects would have been proud.